It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go Wednesday show, April 24, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app. If you are watching live, we appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 64,000 subscribers on this platform, we appreciate you as well. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Braylon Edwards, we are 24 hours away from the NFL draft in Detroit. Downtown looks amazing, and here we go. How you doing, big fella?
I'm doing good, but like when I don't have my laptop, the mystique of what's going on behind the laptop is gone, and people, it's now they just see I'm just a junky guy trying to, fix the desk. I'm excited. I was down there last night. I went to an event that Maz and Ryan, you guys put me on to, which was Mike Tirico's event, the Detroit Sports Commission. Our good friend over there, Maz, told me to tell you guys hello.
Dave Beechnow.
Dave Beechnow was
Love
there.
Dave Beechnow.
Executive director.
Smooth guy. I wanted to steal his shoes. He had these dope Kohan shoes. Got to give him some credit for that. But also, just to be in the mix, Ryan.
That's why I couldn't go. I can't dress like you guys.
The DAC is one of those places that makes you're proud of Detroit. Like, this is the elite. When you take people and you go out of town, whether it's New York, Chicago, LA, whatever, you put them in that DAC and we stack up with anybody. But it's just the fun to see where the city is, man. You see the Hudson Project, like I talked about yesterday, and that draft atmosphere is people are starting to get in town from other cities. LeBron James was in town last night. LeBron James doing something with Rich Paul, his man's and his agent.
Is he still crying over his fouls and all that kind of stuff?
Tonight, Rich Paul's having a party, I think, at Townhouse tonight.
He couldn't be there tonight because he has playoffs, but he came in last night for some support. He has a huge event at Townhouse today, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be elite, and I'm getting more and more. The only thing is that weather. The weather's looking a little iffy.
Well, it's going to be cold for sure at night. I mean, potentially in the 40s. And I think because it's been so nice out in the 60s and things like that, and I think Friday is going to be fantastic. Tomorrow is going to be precipitation free, which is
that's all
probably
the
most important thing. Yeah. No doubt about it.
A little sunshine
and cold
that.
at night.
Well,
yeah,
good.
Sure.
65 on Friday, so I'm good with it. I did get my hair braided.
Looks
I did
beautiful.
get my hair cut, so I'm locked and loaded. I actually have an event downtown with Adewale Agunleye, Tyrone Wheatley, University of Michigan's own, Trezell Jenkins, and it's another Michigan guy. Oh, you went zoomed in tight. It's right from 4:30 to 5. So I'm excited, man. The events give back to the community. It's going to be fun.
There are Super Bowl type events all week. I mean, I'm going to one tonight, the Jerome Bettis 3C Sports Conference. Jerome Bettis, Adam Schefter, Eddie George, just some of the people that are going to be there.
Schefter's going to be there?
Yes, he is. How you doing, Tom? You
I'm
hitting
all
up
right.
any of these events?
I'm trying, but it's not looking like I'm going to be able to get to many. But we're just working hard, trying to make a great draft experience for everyone that watches us here at Woodward Sports.
Here's a good tease for you guys. We're not going to talk about it now. Now we're just doing the intros. We'll talk a little basketball. We'll talk a little whatever. We'll talk a little Dan Campbell because he did speak as well as Brad Holmes. But when we're ready, Ryan and Ryan, I want to talk about Caleb Williams a little bit. I watched his interview on The Pivot with Ryan Clark. Does an amazing job interviewing these athletes, kind of getting to what the information is you want to hear, navigating that space. Caleb Williams is interesting. And you've mentioned Caleb Williams ad nauseum from the season before and then now talking about the little quirks, the little things. I saw some man in this interview that, I'm going to bring to light and say we live in an interesting era. And I think the way we judge people may have to change.
How so? What do you, oh, you want to talk about it later?
Yeah,
Good.
This is just a little tease.
Good.
Little tease.
I love the tease because
I'm learning from you.
I want to go back to something that you said, and a couple of people in the chat have noticed it, and it intrigued me a little bit. LeBron James down 0-2.
Like what?
LeBron James is down 0-2.
0-2.
In the first round of the playoffs. They go back to LA now, and the biggest game of the year for them. I don't care who you're from. What in the world are you doing here in Detroit? And I get it, and you're supporting, and you're probably flying on your own plane. It's not like he's sitting first class Delta, waiting in layovers or something like that. But
he's getting up real early to get here.
Yeah, and then you fly. That's an extra travel in between a travel day for a 40-year-old player. Take the Nuggets tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. I mean.
I feel like you can look at it from 2 points of view. They both can be right. Like it's tough. If I was on his team, I would. It's tough because in one space-time as where you're like, wow, like we're down 0-2. We got swept. Let's keep it in perspective. They got swept by the Denver Nuggets last year.
They've lost 10 straight.
They got swept in the Western Conference Finals last year, so you would think you would come out with some level of fire or wanting to be dialed in and locked in. I mean, he's having a really good series. AD had a good game last game. But so you're like, dang, I wish you would be there. But at the same time, Ryan, you're talking about a guy that's won four championships, 4 MVPs. He's considered, especially by this era, the greatest player of all time.
10 finals appearances, I think.
It's kind of tough. It's the same thing with Michael Jordan letting Dennis Rodman go to Vegas and blow off some steam. It's like, hey, let him go, let him do his thing. We'll figure it out when he gets back. LeBron James, you know why he's here. And this is actually good. Let's separate it from basketball and what this means to that team. The fact that he's here, they got boots on ground because the city of Detroit is coming back. You got the Hudson Project. You got the Detroit Lions. You have a ton of restaurants opening up. People understand that Detroit is about to experience a boom. That's why people and investors, LeBron doesn't go places where there's not money to be made. He doesn't go places where and lend his name to a restaurant or to a city or to a business. It just lets you know that Detroit is on the cusp of doing something special the next coming years with downtown, with the boom. So I look at it that way. But if I was a teammate, I'd be pissed.
Side note, LeBron James wants to be an owner of an NBA basketball franchise, most notably the next one that's going to be in Las Vegas. I understand that, and Las Vegas probably can't compete.
Maybe he returns the favor.
Can you buy the Detroit Pistons, LeBron James, by the way? Please? Wouldn't that be something?
The owner of the Cavaliers, right. Dan Gilbert's from here.
That's
right.
right.
LeBron James from there. Maybe you have that.
Hey, man, did you see my little bet I put in the other night?
No.
I did.
I bet the Lakers straight up, like I told you I would.
Okay.
You told me bet each game. So I got them at like plus 270.
Okay.
Fourth quarter comes, they're up 20.
Oh, my gosh.
It starts dropping. So I get a
cash out
option. So I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll take it. It's not much difference. I take the cash out. I take half of that, and I drop it on the Nuggets to win straight up at plus 305.
Get out of here.
And I hit that.
Double.
Isn't that something?
You hit your doubles.
Isn't that something? No, it ain't much. But, it was a fun bet.
That's a fun night.
And it was like almost 1 o'clock in the freaking morning.
Oh,
I'm like, what am I doing up? I couldn't go to bed. That was an unbelievable game. I mean, that Knicks game and that Lakers game was two of the best games I've seen in the NBA in years.
So many times I'll wake up because I go to bed a little bit earlier than you guys do, and I wake up a lot earlier than you guys do.
Yeah.
So there's so many times I'll see your guys' texts at 4:30 in the morning, and I'll look and see what time you texted it. It'd be like 12:31. Yeah. And I'm like, boy, we just live so drastically.
And then Braylon's, you see 3:30.
Hey,
no, I haven't seen one of those in a year.
Thank you, Ryan.
I haven't seen a 3:30 in a year.
Ever since I met my girl, man, I changed my ways. I'm falling asleep at 10:45.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You got a different clock.
And mind you, he's not the one texting at midnight anymore. It's you.
Yeah. Hey, my mother has no idea. My mother has no idea what time it is because her sleep patterns are so awful. She's living on LA time, and she's in Jersey. I mean, this woman is up at the wrong times of the night, and of course, tripping on things in the middle of the night, which makes it worse. And there you have it.
It was my left.
Sorry.
It was my left. No, it's all good.
Oh, man. Anyway, hey, I wanted to show you inside the Draft Theater in the green room that is happening in Detroit. This thing is built out, and this is what it will look like on TV tomorrow when the commissioner comes to the podium, when you see the players in the green room. 13 players are going to be on hand for this NFL draft. And we talked about the local company that will press the jersey. Yeah. I don't know. They won't have to be too busy tomorrow night with only 13 players, perhaps. You've got Caleb Williams. You've already got that one done. Yeah. So then, you've got 12 more options. So that'll be pretty cool. But again, when you look out to Detroit and you see that.
That's Stalls in St. Clair
Absolutely.
Shores.
The map downtown of all the road closures. Today is the final day of the new road closures. There have been a progressive kind of stop a road here, block a road here, block a road here. Today is the final new road closure day. So over the next week, essentially, there will be no new road closures. These ones will be in place through Monday or through the deconstruction of the stage and everything like that. But, just treat it like you're going to a stadium. The clear bag policy, preferably don't bring anything.
Correct.
Put your wallet in a pocket. Put your cell phone in a pocket. And I know for the ladies, if you want to throw some lip gloss in there, fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're wearing something with a pocket. But treat it like you're going to an NFL stadium.
Absolutely. Even Dick's Sporting Goods has their own, when you walk in, they have their own site right there that tells you, hey, the NFL allows this, and this, and they've got it there for sale. Yesterday we had Dave Beast now on from the Detroit Sports Commission. I asked him about all the fences. You know how you and I got around to get the Shake Shack last weekend? Yeah. And I'm like, will the fences come down? He's like, not really. It's still going to be up there. It's for safety reasons. It's for security. So you're going to have to walk around. There will be directions. There will be arrows point, go this way. Takes you 5 blocks this way, a half a mile this way. Just be ready to walk. That's all I got to tell you. Put on some comfortable sneakers and have a great time.
The NFL gets very few things wrong, and I'm not saying they got this thing wrong, but every NFL draft comes around like now. They turned it into a 3-day event. I will contend to you, there was no single day better on the calendar than when the NFL draft was on Saturday and on Sunday. That 12 hours, essentially, of the NFL draft on Saturdays used to be like Christmas morning because you had NBA and NHL playoffs going on. You had the NFL draft. You were going back and forth. I feel like the NFL robbed me as a sports fan of that day. I never thought this would work. I was wrong. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3-day NFL extravaganza is unlike anything we've ever seen. The TV viewership proves it. The sponsorships prove it. Taking it around to different cities. This is the 10th different city the NFL draft has been to since it was like 50 years in New York. But that single day, and Bray, I don't know how you feel about this being a player, but Maz, you gotta help me on this. That Saturday, Sunday, there was nothing like it.
It was great, but I could trump that. Back when I was a young man, I would skip school on a Tuesday and stay home and watch the whole damn draft. Then it moved to Thursday, and then it moved to the weekend. Mm-hmm. So Chris Berman and those guys on ESPN, that's when I absolutely was in love with ESPN. That's all I would ever watch. And the draft was one of my favorite events. And, of course, being at a few of them myself live really was great. And this is going to be my first one since I don't remember the last time I've been there, but it was back at the Garden and the Felt Forum, which became Paramount Theater in New York. And now it's, the 10th year it's moved to a different city? Year. Hey, man, Detroit's going to do it right. Let's just hope everything goes smooth.
Before I comment on the draft and the new process versus the old process, the whole draft was on one day. There were 15 rounds.
Yeah,
man.
It was Tuesday. It was
15 rounds.
If you went back to the Pete Rozelle days, they would sit up there on a blackboard and write a guy's name down.
That's true.
It was nothing.
Teams too. I think,
the ESPN made the draft.
Yes, yeah.
They invented the draft.
They did.
They hired all these guys. Paul Zimmerman, Dr. Z from Sports Illustrated. He did one draft, the first one, and I think it was like 82.
And then it's been Mel Kiper.
But yeah, you know why they took him off? They asked him a question. So Dr. Z, how are these players getting so big? And he just said steroids. He said steroids, and he never came back again. NFL said that's enough for that guy.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, well, he wasn't wrong. But then Mel Kiper was on it ever since then, and a cast of thousands. Joe Theismann used to be on that damn show.
We were trying to dance around and have some fun. Like, Ryan, we might need to jump into the show and talk about what's very important to the Detroit Lions, because not only did one person get paid from the Detroit Lions, somebody else just got paid. So, Ryan, I'll let you do the honors. You talk about the guy that got paid first, but you talk about Brad Holmes, talk about Dan Campbell taking care of their homegrown in the most special time. Ryan, let us have it, brother.
Here we go. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years, $120 million. They are not done yet. Just announced the Lions and All-Pro offensive tackle Penei Sewell, 4 years, $112 million, making him the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Are you kidding me? $85 million guaranteed for Sewell, $77 million guaranteed for Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Detroit Lions have nailed the draft, and now they are rewarding their players for it. Two of the highest paid players at their positions, and Jared Goff has got to be next.
Let me jump out real quick, Mass, before you get excited. Ryan, look, 100% Jared Goff is next. You know what you're seeing from Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions organization? They understand taking care of their own, but not just taking care of their own. We knew these deals were coming. We knew Amon-Ra get paid. We didn't know that he would have the highest deal ever for a wide receiver, as it talks about guaranteed money. And I appreciate you throwing that up there, Pete. Now Penei Sewell becoming the highest offensive lineman extension of all time. They are taking care of their own. It's showing. We draft you. We believe in you. You work hard. We reward you. We want to keep you here. We're homegrown guys for a reason. We want you here. Jared Goff, he's going to be up next, but that's the message. The message is we go get our guys. We believe in our guys. We vet our guys. We pay our guys, and our guys show up. This is amazing to see. And the fact they could have done this on Monday.
Yep.
They could have done this on Tuesday. They could have done this a week from now. Detroit is on display right now for the NFL draft. Detroit is on display for how they got this close to the Super Bowl. And now, in the biggest moment in Detroit, for the Detroit Lions, as they're downtown now, they pay Amon-Ra St. Brown the night before the draft. They pay Penei Sewell the night before the draft. This is a very team-oriented type of team, type of franchise. They're showing their players, we appreciate you, and we want you to get your shine on in the biggest moments. This is hands down some great stuff for Sheila Ham and this Detroit Lions franchise.
Wait an hour. Goff will be announced today as well.
Absolutely.
Do they wait till tomorrow?
No, it's today. And they're sending a message to the league. They're sending a message to every player that is coming out tomorrow and this weekend in the NFL draft. If we select you and you come here, work hard, and perform, you too will get paid. This is how we treat our players here. This is what we believe. This is how we show we believe in you, by paying you.
If I'm a player drafted by the Detroit Lions tomorrow, on Friday, on Saturday, I am chomping at the bit, Ryan Ermanni, to get in the Dearborn, to get in the Dearborn, to get in Allen Park, to get in that facility, to get in that weight room, to get on that field, to get in the film study. Because if this is what you're doing, you take a guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, in the 4th round 3 years ago, and you make him the highest paid receiver as it relates to a guarantee ever because of his play on the field. Penei Sewell, a guy that people say, hey, you shouldn't have drafted him over one Micah Parsons. Now you reward him because of his play on the field. I can't wait to get into this organization. I can't wait to show them what I can do. Now you show guys, look, this is what's there's actually really a pot of gold, but not even at the end of the rainbow, at the start of the rainbow, and then again and again. So this is a major move, and the Detroit Lions, who would have ever thunk it, man? They're showing other franchises how to operate, how to have success. That in itself sounds like an oxymoron.
Back in the day, if you got drafted by the Lions, you heard your name,
career was over.
You were jumping in the middle of Woodward. Now it's completely different, like Braylon said.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get to Detroit. Cannot wait to put those new uniforms on. Hey, guys, we're here, man. We made it. We're here. The Lions are an official NFL team.
And also, too, it's like we talked about. This isn't a surprise for us. Right here on Ermanni and Edwards and Maz, we've been talking about they're not paying other players. They're not bringing in the Daniil Hunters. They're not bringing in X, Y, and Z player because they want to reward their own. They're going to pay their own. Well, this is why they still have money left. This is why they chose not to pay L'Jarius Sneed. This is why they chose not to pay insert defensive end or defensive tackle that was up or out this year. They knew they wanted to take care of their guys, and they believe in the team that they've already scripted and put together. This is amazing stuff.
Maz, I totally agree with you. I think Jared Goff will be announced today as well.
I'm going to keep looking.
This is what's happening. There's no doubt in my mind Goff will be announced today. Let's take this one at a time. I don't think this is surprising for us here in Detroit. Let's go one at a time here. For Amon-Ra St. Brown specifically. Amon-Ra St. Brown, we have seen him do nothing but be great from day one. He is a workhorse. This guy catches everything in his grasp. He is a leader. He's exactly who you want on your team. He just somehow, some way finds a way to get the job done each and every time. He has gotten better year in, year out, year after year. The guy is great. We see that. I think this is a bit of a surprise around the league. I think if you're watching in Cincinnati and Minnesota and LA and Denver and Oakland or wherever, I think you're waking up being like, Amon-Ra, $30 million?
What do you think Jefferson's saying in Minnesota right now?
Maybe you don't pay too close attention to the Lions' individual players. You know Amon-Ra is a great player, but when you rattle off the top 10 wide receivers in the league, you probably don't say his name if you're not, here in Detroit
Correct.
or in the NFC North or like in that NFL. So I'm just talking about NFL fan bases.
Yes.
Maybe you're Cowboys or whatever.
Right. If you're playing fantasy football, you know them.
If you play fantasy football, you know them. But insert fan base, individual fan that wakes up this morning and says, Amon-Ra, $30 million, no way. But, man, he's worth every penny.
At the end of the day, it's not about those fan bases. It's about the Detroit Lions and what they saw. How many times have you seen a wide receiver or a player, man, especially at the skill position, outplay their contract? And literally, you can re-up them year 3. You choose not to. You hold them around year 4. Now you got in year 4. Now you're trying to dance around. Do I pay him? Do I not? Now things get ugly. The player starts not to play the same because he didn't have the same faith in the organization. The organization starts to move the goalposts backwards. Now you have friction between player and organization. Why need that? Why need that? The Detroit Lions have seen when Amon-Ra is on the field, we win. He extends the chains. He gets first downs. Or he's great on first down. He extends the chains on third down. He can block. He's legitimately a leader. He's legitimately there when you need him every game. When you look at that stat column at the end of the game, you're always going to find around 9 catches and about 88 yards out of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, by the way, he's in the end zone as well. And he's there when you need. Why? And also know that money's changing. CeeDee Lamb is up. Jamar Chase is up. Justin Jefferson is up. That money's going to go way through the roof. It's going to reset the market again. So why pay him? Why not pay him now, 120, when you understand what he means to the franchise, what he means to this team, and the type of player he is? Why wait till one of those guys get broke off, and now you're at a crux? It's a smart move. It's a well-deserved move. The market is going to go up. I don't care what the rest of the league is talking about. We here in Detroit know what he can do. It's like a Hines Ward situation, but I think he's now a better receiver than Hines. It's like Hines and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hines wasn't viewed around the league as blah, blah, blah. But those Pittsburgh Steelers, what did he do? Championships, did everything you needed to. 1,200 yards, end of the year, 7, 8, 9 touchdowns at the end of the year. He's always going to do what he was supposed to and lead that team. That's what Amon-Ra St. Brown is doing, and he's getting rewarded because of it.
That's a 4th-round draft pick that just made $120 million on his second contract.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. He said he was going to get even. He was going to pass up every single guy on that list. He is now the highest paid guy on that list.
Seth Floyd, Super Chat, says, I usually don't like Wednesdays, but today has been a great one. Sewell and the Sun God will be lifetime Lions. It certainly appears like that. Before I get to Sewell, one other point here about Amon-Ra. In the way teams pay players, if you're talking about $50 million for Goff, which, Maz, we are going to see $50 million in that neighborhood for Goff. We are going to see, we've got $30 million here for Amon-Ra. You've got about $28 million for Panay.
He gets more guaranteed money, though.
Right, exactly. But I think my point is, how many guys can you pay?
Yeah.
Like, the way you pay players has changed in the NFL. You used to pay an offensive lineman and a quarterback.
Yep.
A defensive end and a defensive back.
Yep.
And now it's like you're paying 4 offensive players.
They screwed themselves by drafting so well. Think about that.
I mean,
and I'm just giving you those words.
Right.
Back in the day when Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford.
I don't take you literally.
Right. But you know what I mean? When the big 3 was here, Calvin Johnson and Ndamukong Suh and Matthew Stafford, the NFL rules back then precluded you from paying 3 huge contracts.
Right.
That's why they could not pay. They made a choice.
And Ndamukong Suh,
we
right?
can't pay Sue. He left. The Lions went down. Who aren't they going to pay now? Taylor Decker's deal is going to be up soon. He says him and his agent and the Lions are doing well. They're on the same page. But do you pay a Taylor Decker now going forward? Or, like you said, they grab an offensive lineman, a real stud, this draft.
Well, again, because the league is so offensive focused now. If you pay Goff $50 million and Amon-Ra $30 million, that's $80 million of your cap right there, and $30 million, 28 for Sewell. You can pay one other guy really comfortably before you have to start figuring out who's got to go. Now, thankfully, the Lions themselves are a young enough team where they've got players locked up for a number of years on rookie contracts and everything like that. They don't have to do this for a while.
Yeah.
But again, because it's such an offensive league now, because the rules don't benefit defenders at all. I'm not paying a defender. I'm just not. Certainly not paying a defensive back. Like big time money, because chances are on big plays, they're either going to get burned or they're going to get flagged for defensive pass interference or hands to the face or some sort of other stupid penalty that will benefit the offense.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. You just look at the move, and the good thing about it is you're paying him when he's not even entering his prime yet. Like, he's got a little ways to go before he's entering his prime, man. He's only in year 4. So it's not one of those situations where you're paying a player based on what they've done. And now they got a couple injuries, and now it's like, oh, well, we owe you this, so we have to pay this. Kind of like the Miggy situation. I know 2 different sports, but you're paying a guy that has been balling, doing this thing for 3 years. And also, too, if you want to have that conversation, look at his numbers stacked up against any of who you perceive to be the top 10 in the last 3 years that he's been in the NFL. They stack up across the board with anybody. I don't care if it's Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, maybe minus the touchdowns, but Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, the numbers stack up with anybody. So not only is it a validated contract, it's just smart business. Same thing with Penei Sewell. You pay him. Penei has been dominating since he's been there. Man, as you called it, that Rams game, when they played out in L.A. 3 years ago, and he stood up to Aaron Donald, but they almost backed Aaron Donald. In fact, did back Aaron Donald up. You called it then. You said this guy is going to be a player, and he's only gotten better and better and better. He's the number 1 graded player at his position last season in Pro Football Focus right tackle. So it's smart. You're getting pillars. You look at the teams that have success. They have the pillars. If it's the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is the pillar. You pay him. Chris Jones is the pillar. You pay him. Travis Kelce, he was a pillar. You play him in the left tackle, you pay him. Those are your pillars. Those are the guys that represent the franchise. Those are the guys that come to play, and those are the guys you depend on. Well, the Lions seem like they get the memo. Penei Sewell's being paid as a pillar. Amon-Ra St. Brown's being paid as a pillar. And then you got 2 more. One today and maybe one next year.
Yeah, you pay 4 guys basically, and that's why
Aiden Hutchinson. Yep.
But I mean, just look at the Chiefs. That's why Tyreek Hill had to leave.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because essentially they chose Chris Jones over Tyreek Hill.
And it worked for them.
You know, and,
so we'll be Goff and Hutchinson.
Right. You know, I mean,
they've gotten 2 titles.
Goff, Hutchinson, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maz, redraft now. Go back for me.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to take Penei Sewell or Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Have you changed your mind yet?
Yeah, I told Stick I have. He asked me this last week because he's the guy that argued with me the most. I think Micah Parsons is a fantastic athlete. I think he's a defensive stalwart, pillar, game changer. Now that 3 years have passed and you see some of the luggage that comes along with it, Penei Sewell has been nothing but an upstanding citizen. What I mean by that, he keeps his mouth shut, and he is the best at his position.
Leader.
He is the best at his position, and they made the right move. Brad Holmes jumping up and down. Now I could say they made the right move because guess what? We're here, and we're actually ahead of the Cowboys. How could I argue?
Look at that. Look at you, Maz.
How could I argue?
You're growing up, man. You're growing up.
How could I argue?
It's so good.
Every time I just try to be excited in the moment of what's going on, it always gets brought back to a competition piece.
Yeah.
That's what we're so good at in this space, and I love it. It's what gets us through these dark days a lot of times.
Well, players are synonymous with each other.
I see the old dude looking smooth right there. I understand that, but
like Terry Fair will always go hand in hand with Randy Moss.
yeah,
Correct.
that's not
You know
fair.
what I
Like
mean?
Micah Parsons already has 3 All-Pros.
Yeah.
Like first team.
I love the guy.
I understand that, but
But he
also,
made me make a
True.
choice, Bray. He made me make a choice.
I just don't like the question because in the words of Ryan Ermanni, it's like I got to put one guy down to pick one guy up.
Well,
And
there's
then
no doubt,
they're,
you know.
they're
I
both
mean,
phenomenal, but Penei Sewell plays on the offensive line with 2 other first-round offensive linemen. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. So I mean, It remains to be seen, to be honest, because at this particular point, neither one of the teams have done anything. The Dallas Cowboys nor the Detroit Lions.
Let's switch them.
Cowboys not making playoffs this year.
Let's put Panay on the Cowboys, and let's put Mike on the Lions. Do you think the Lions would have went a little further with Micah Parsons on that defense?
No.
Now, did I do that?
I don't.
But how could you say that?
Because if Josh Reynolds dropped 2 balls, had nothing to do with the defense.
How about the year prior when the defense failed them and they couldn't get into playoffs?
Well, they were started out 1-6 or 1-7.
Well, maybe they wouldn't have. I'm just saying. We all said it. They're both going to hopefully wear gold jackets.
Right.
They're going to go to Canton, hopefully, if they all stay healthy and everything goes right.
The conversation.
Who would you rather have? A gold jacket offensive lineman or a gold jacket linebacker, defensive end?
For this team, I'd rather Penei Sewell.
Okay. That's fine.
I feel you, but at the end of the day, our defensive line still couldn't get to the quarterback.
Correct.
Last year, the year before that, we struggled to get to the quarterback. Because for every good game Aiden Hutchinson has, he has 3 games where you don't even hear his name. That doesn't happen with Micah Parsons, number 11. So it's still one of those things, Ryan, those conversations where we'll figure it out. Once the first big move, like Super Bowl move or something, we'll figure it out.
No doubt about it. We'll talk more about this with Mike O'Hara when he joins us 30 minutes from now. I'm going to get a break in NFL draft. What is Dan Campbell saying about trading the pick at 29? Ooh. You'll hear from him. But first, a message from Figer Law.
All right, guys, here we go. What we got? Figer Law. After an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time. So make Figer Law your first call. 1-800-A-WINNER. 1-800-A-WINNER. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Figer Law. All we do is win.
You can win that too. You can win at Planet Fitness because it's only $10 a month to get yourself in shape. You see the guns trying to hide it with the jacket right now, but look, Planet. You see, I'm not hiding it. You can see it coming through the jacket, though.
Yeah.
There it is. Hey, look, you go to Planet Fitness, they'll take care of you. Not only is it only $10 a month to work there, it is a squeaky clean gym. That means you can take your time. You can be comfortable. You can take a shower. Can't do that at every gym. Your fitness is essential. So you want to make sure you have fun and you feel okay. And that's why it's home of the judgment-free zone. Come in and work out at your own pace. Take your time. Get through the workouts. And then you'll see those results that you want to see. Planet Fitness. Your fitness is essential.
Is about to have their eyes on Detroit, so we figure we show them how Detroit parties. Join us at the 313 Draft Party, presented by Figer Law on Woodward and Adams in Detroit, April 25th and 26th. That's right, we're taking over the city with a live broadcast from the 313 Draft Party, sponsored by Jars, Lost Farm, and Gold Crown, covering the NFL Draft like only Woodward Sports can. Join the entire Woodward family when the first round begins at 8 p.m. This party is 21 plus, free to the public, and opens at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Come watch the live broadcast for rounds 1, 2, and 3 at the best draft party in the D. Ain't no party like a Detroit party, especially when you party with Woodward Sports. Thank you to our sponsors, Sorokas, Glorious, and Figer Law. All we do is win.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel any.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men, and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Looking for a new car, used car? Look no further than Les Stanford. They've got the Buick GMC brands now as well. Grab the dealership in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile for that Buick GMC dealership. If you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. All 4 GM brands under that same umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, where awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
All right, guys, breaking news earlier today. A 4-year, $120 million deal for Amon-Ra St. Brown makes him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. Penei Sewell just signed a 4-year deal as well, worth $112 million. So those two gentlemen locked up. Still waiting on Jared Goff. Maybe something happens with Taylor Decker as well. We will talk to Mike O'Hara about that coming up in about 25 minutes from now.
I'm just laughing and just thinking about how the evolution of the NFL, and whenever we go that route, people always start to say, oh, these guys are the old guys. If you would have told me 20 years ago that a 5 foot, let me get his height right, 9.5, 5'10" wide receiver have a bigger contract in the same amount of years than the best right tackle in the NFL, you told me that 20 years ago, I told you you're crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have last week. You know what I mean?
Well, wide receivers have been getting paid, so maybe not now, but 4 years ago, Ryan.
Crazy, man. It is unbelievable how much money the NFL is worth, and the players finally.
Do I have a couple games in me?
Yeah, right. You probably do a little bit of a share on that. I wanted to get to this. We've been talking about this for a long time now. I didn't think there was any way the Lions would trade back. I still don't think it's going to happen. But nonetheless, Dan Campbell was on with their flagship station earlier today, talked about if this is the quote, if our guy's not there, we will move back. So I'm just preparing the fans. Be ready. You never know what's going to happen here. And it is a scenario. I don't know if it's a likely scenario. It is a scenario. I do believe this is a deep draft. I do believe the Lions have conviction with each player that they select. If they believe they can get a player at 35 instead of 25, they'll do it. If they think that player is not going to get past 25, they will move up. If they think they can get the guy at 29, they will stand pat. But one thing is for sure, two things for certain. The Lions have identified players that they believe will help this team. And they will do whatever it takes to go get those players or play the game and trade back and get those players. And we really don't even know who's on their list. I remember one year, and this is not Brad Holmes, but every single mock draft had Prince Amon-Ra, the cornerback from Nebraska. Remember him?
Yeah,
New
York Giants.
Everyone had him mocked to the Lions. Turned out he wasn't even on the Lions board. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you how silly some of these mock drafts are. They took him off their board for some reason. I don't remember why, but that was revealed.
This team takes people off their boards for reasons. They interview these guys, and you're either one of them, you fit this, and this, or you're off the list. Like Brad Holmes said, and I played it yesterday, it takes a certain guy to be able to play here in Detroit. Mm-hmm. That was his quote. And we all know, basically got to be a choir boy with skills to play here. If you're a badass and you're out there doing other stuff, you're not going to be here. That's a fact.
It's weird. Because Dan Campbell's not a choir boy himself. Like, I don't think you have to be a choir boy, man.
You gotta love ball.
You gotta love football. You gotta love football.
You gotta love ball.
You gotta
be a choir boy.
You gotta love ball, but like your aggressiveness and things, they have to be within the game. I think that's what it is. Because there's some guys that talk some stuff. Kirby Joseph, like he's always got something to say, depending on who you play. They went and got CJ last year. Yeah. He dang sure isn't a choir boy.
And he ain't here anymore.
This is very true, but they gave him a shot. They gave him a shot, and he continued going on his ways, and so then they ushered him up out of here, plus he got injured. So I think you don't necessarily have to be a choir boy, but you can't have anything off the field.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you got some rough edges, it's fine. But actual events, things that, you know, that circle, that show from time to time, you can't have it, man. But this, Dan Campbell, man, they seem like they have the pulse on what's going on, the guys they want to draft. I just still think you don't need to move up. You don't need to move back. I just think you're in a great space because if you look at all the mock drafts, how many times have you seen the players that they want in different mocks? Like, I've seen at least 3 to 4 players that the Lions have picked or that we have pegged to the Lions and other people have had pegged to the Lions sitting there at pick 29, whether it's Jackson Powers Johnson, whether it's insert wide receiver here, whether it's your boy, Maz, the Hawkeye himself, Cooper DeJean, whether it's Chop Robinson from Penn State.
Yep.
You've seen a bunch of different people still available at that pick 29. Like the Lions have arrived almost. They were in the NFC with what they had, and they got better, we believe, in the offseason. The offseason's still not over. Because after the draft, you still can go out there and make moves, whether it's bringing in old head Stephon Gilmore or insert player that's kind of still floating on that free agent list. So I stand on what I said. Ryan, you asked me, do they move back? Do they move up? Do they move down? I think they stay pit is one still for me. Then move back, then move up.
I say they don't pick at 29, but they're picking in the first round. That's just my thought. If there's a guy up there that they don't have to give up the farm for, they're going to get him because they are a player or two away from being almost a perfect team.
Yeah, and what would you say that would be, Maz? If they're a player,
solid cornerback, solid cornerback, linebacker like Braylon said, or someone that can rush the passer on the side of Aiden Hutchinson.
When you say linebacker,
linebacker isn't like it used to be. It's not Lawrence Taylor linebacker anymore.
Okay.
These guys are all. This linebacker position it's
like you can put your hand in the dirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Michael Parsons.
Yes. Yeah. That's him. That's him. This Chop Robinson guy is a guy that interests me, and he played for a pretty damn good team that the Michigan Wolverines said, we ain't going to deal with that guy. We're going to run the damn ball.
Yeah, I mean, definitely something interesting.
They don't need 3 players, 4 players. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have a draft like last year.
Yeah.
Where you got 4.
They hit the jackpot.
They did. They got 4 guys that were very, very, very active, and 4 guys that helped them get to the NFC Championship. Sam Laporte, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, and then Brian Branch. So you hit the big jackpot last year. You almost bought yourself some leeway. You almost bought yourself some space. I don't want to say playing with house money, but kind of almost in that realm.
Did you see the Adam Schefter tweet today? This is a magnificent tweet. If we could get that up, it shows first round bust rates.
Yes.
This is
the offensive line thing.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I believe that the Lions will take an offensive lineman, because first round wide receivers are horrific. A 27% hit rate. I'll leave this up for a minute, Pete. Of all the positions in the first round, the wide receiver busts the most.
That's skewed. that is absolutely skewed. And you know why it's skewed? Because the majority of the wide receivers they're going early. They're going to horrible teams.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
I mean,
you got to take context in. Quarterback, less than 50%.
I had 7 quarterbacks in 2 seasons.
Quarterback is a high bust category.
Yeah.
Cornerback is also less than 40%. Look at that. Corner safety. The defensive backfield essentially busts out at a rate only above the wide receiver, essentially.
The safest position is Frank Ragnow's spot.
Absolutely. Offensive lineman is the safest position.
Center
for sure.
Center is number 1 by far.
Yeah. Offensive tackle, 60% essentially. But when you talk about quarterbacks, even you're talking upwards of 6 quarterbacks potentially going in the first round of this draft. 4 of them are going to be busts, most likely.
Who's the best center in this draft?
I don't know.
Now, we got to bring up this when we get a minute. Let's bring up centers. I just want to see the best centers that are available.
Do you have this? Do you have that?
No, I'm going to bring it up.
You're going to look at it.
I'm going to bring it up. But 92% hit rate for centers.
You see that stats? You know why those skill positions, those positions lead the charge, Ryan Ermanni?
Why?
If you look at them, they all depend on other positions. You look at cornerbacks, they depend on the defensive line, linebackers, running back depends on the offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers. We depend on the offensive line to block for the quarterback. We need a quarterback to get you the ball, and then what's the other one? Safety. With safety, you can get cooked if your defensive line can't get pressure.
Graham Barton is the number 1.
Duke.
Graham Barton from Duke is the number 1 overall ranked center on this list. He is the 29th overall ranked player. Jackson Powers Johnson is 2.
Pick?
The Detroit Lions have that pick as well. Offensive guard on this list, Troy Fontenot from Washington. Zach Zinter is 6 on this list. I would love to see the Lions take this player in round 3 or 4. Zach Zinter would be a first-round pick, in my opinion, if he wasn't injured.
He's injured. It's a Detroit special.
And you can essentially give him a redshirt year with the offensive line that you have now.
And maybe you build around that, like knowing what Frank's going to potentially do in the future.
Absolutely. It is something you have to look at. And then offensive tackle. This is a big offensive tackle. You've got 6 guys on there that I think could be first-round picks. I don't think they will be.
Is Zach Frazier on there?
Actually, you've got 6 guys that Zach Frazier.
From West Virginia? Is he on there?
He's the center, right?
I think he is.
West Virginia. Hold on. West Virginia. Yeah, he's 3rd on this list. You like Zach Frazier?
Well, I read a lot about him. I don't know much about him except from what I've read.
Ranked 49th overall.
Okay. Who's the 29th ranked guy?
The number 1 center on the board, Graham Barton.
Graham Barton.
Now, there's been rumors that this could do it for Frank Ragnow this year.
It might, absolutely.
I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
We know what a beating he took.
I was surprised this year when Brett Holmes at the end of season press conference said, we're going to give Frank all the time he needs. And then it was like 2 weeks later, he said he was coming back. I'm like, coming back? Were you thinking about retiring?
Here's my deal with the offensive line position. Look, I love it and I understand it. As much as we talk about it, I
Braylon
definitely
hates the offensive line.
Get
your headline ready.
You know Jay Long's one of my favorite people, so I love offense. But I got to defend myself. I got to defend myself. But I look at it like this, and we talked about this yesterday. If you're gonna make a move, you got to go up, and that's because if you're this close, you got to go get the player that you believe is gonna get you to that next level. The player that's going to help you close the door in the NFC Championship. I understand what's going on with Frank Ragnow. I understand offensive line is our identity. But just look at how we made offensive line moves. Jonah Jackson. Where did we get Jonah Jackson from? He was a heck of an offensive lineman. We didn't feel like paying him, so he left. Then you pick up a guy that's been playing for 13 years, but oh, by the way, he's an All-Pro and he was a Pro Bowler last year. Great in the run game. You've been picking up offensive linemen,
old guys, though.
Older guys. You've been switching. You've been able to. You just see the hit rate for offensive linemen in the NFL. You know what that means? There's a ton of linemen already in the NFL. There's tons of guys that you can pick up.
You got Glasgow and Zeitler on that line, along with
they're both in their 30s. I understand.
Right.
I understand that. But if this draft is so deep,
and Decker too.
If this draft is so deep in offensive linemen, can't you work your magic in the 3rd? Can't you work your magic?
That's where Zinter comes in for me. You need a first round talent. You need a first round talent that you can get in like the 3rd or 4th
And he's injured. It's perfect for the Lions.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a perfect Lion pick.
That's what you probably were in the chat when I said that 3 minutes ago.
No.
He just said,
This is I was looking up Zach Frazier. By the way, a wrestling champion he was, a 4-time wrestling champion. Who gave that to me? That was from Achilleos. Thank you, Achilleos.
Those wrestling guys are strong. Gabe Watson, Southfield High, which is now South A&T, he was a champ. Saw him put a lot of guys in the headlock. I don't know if it was legal or not, but that's your Hendon Hooker pick from last year. Hendon Hooker, first round pick.
There you go.
Gets injured. He flips to you. Now he goes 3rd round to the Detroit Lions. That's your Zach Zinter pick. But if this team is that close, then you go up and you get your guy. If not, then maybe draft the offensive lineman. I just think you call it, Brian. Now all of a sudden you're changing. I'm gonna call you out.
What'd I say?
2 years ago, you talked about offensive linemen and talked about where they were drafted, where you could pick them up from. You said you don't even need a first round offensive lineman.
Well, that was the stat. You know, I think the last 10 Super Bowl years.
Yeah.
80%. I forget the number. Forgive me.
It was something crazy.
But it was something like 60 or 70% of the starters on the on Super Bowl teams were taken in the 5th round or later, meaning undrafted.
Yeah. I just think there's
That's a wild stat.
It is a wild stat. It's a ton of good offensive linemen.
I don't know if that holds up. That was a stat, I think 2 years ago I saw that or something like that. But what the last 2 Super Bowls have added or taken away from that, I just haven't done the research on it. But that was the working theory.
This is true. I think offensive linemen are always floating around out there. I think you got some good ones, and I think I understand it's coming to an end. But I think you got time to vet that process and figure it out. I don't want offensive linemen at 29, but at the same time, in Brad Holmes we trust.
Isn't this one of the most unique drafts we've seen in some time?
Well, for us, because we don't pick this late.
Well, no,
ever.
But I mean, this could be one of the crazier drafts. I mean, I heard one of these guys on ESPN. I don't know. They've got 20 guys talking. I don't even know. I just
all
got,
new
got
guys
it on.
too.
Yeah,
all
I
new.
just got it on in the office,
right.
And you know, they're talking about. I think it was who's the Matt Miller? Was that his name? Matt Miller.
Matt Miller. Yeah, he's a scout.
Saying there could be upwards of 10 trades in the first round. 10 trades in the first round. Like
it starts with New England and Arizona at 3 and 4, and the Chargers sitting at 5.
I mean, you've got Las Vegas that apparently tried to trade up to 2 with Washington to get a quarterback. You see Michael Penix now
he's flying up,
rocketing up the draft board. So I was talking about the Giants potentially taking him at 6.
And yesterday it was the Falcons at 8 that wanted him.
Peyton Manning today said Denver is very high on J.J. McCarthy, and he will not get past them at 11.
No kidding.
You know, or whatever, 12 I think it is.
Yeah.
Like
Vikings are 11.
Yeah, so
Vikings are getting him. I don't care what they got to do, but they're getting J.J. McCarthy.
You know, I was watching some things recently, man, about Michael Penix. I sent you guys both a little something in our group text. I said Michael Penix is going to be my sleeper in this draft. The more work you do, the more research you do, the more you read, the more you find out about a person. It's just something about him. Ryan Ermanni, I read a story where they were playing Oregon, and when they were down, he's on the sideline freestyling. For those of you guys who don't know what freestyling is rap, just making up words, not writing stuff down, unlike Drake. Anyway, you like that, huh, Mike? So he's freestyling on the sideline.
Now Mike knows what you're talking about.
I had to bring him into the conversation. There's a minute and a half left in the game, Ryan Ermanni. They're playing against Oregon. The game's on the line. You should be thinking about what are you gonna do, blah, blah, blah. You know what he's doing? He's freestyling, getting his guys going, telling him about what's about to happen in his drive. And then what happens? Exactly what he said in the freestyle. They go down there, he scores a touchdown, throws it to Rome Odunze, and they win the game. He's recalling. Then also, you see the letter that he just penned to the NFL teams, 32, about injuries, this, that, and the third, and I haven't been injured. He said, you get better with time. He said, I haven't been injured in 2 years, though you worrying about my injuries. Worry about the way I spin the ball. Worry about this, that, and the third. So, I don't know. It's something about Michael Penix that I think he's going to be the sleeper in this draft.
I think he could start in the NFL eventually.
His mind, he's been through a lot. He's been in Indiana. He's gone toe to toe with Ohio State. He's revamped himself. He's gone to Washington. Kalen DeBoer got him on track last 2 years. He's been phenomenal. I mean, you've seen him do a certain thing at the highest level. Why ignore it? We give all these other quarterbacks their love. I think something there.
There could be a potential as well that not one defensive player is drafted in the top 10.
Yeah,
there's
a good chance of that.
I don't even know if we've ever seen that. Like, I can't imagine it's ever happened.
You're probably right.
And I don't necessarily think it's going to happen this time either, but it very well could. If you go 4 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers,
offensive lineman, tight end,
2 offensive linemen, and the tight end.
Yep, there it is. There's your top 10. What defensive player is like the number 1 defensive player on the board? I don't even know.
Well, the number 1 defensive tackle is Byron Murphy. He's the 16th ranked player overall.
He's not going
number
to the top
1
10.
edge player is Dallas Turner from Alabama. He's ranked 8th overall. 8th overall.
So there's a chance that he can go in the top 10.
Yeah, and he'd be the only one.
Yeah, there you go.
If Dallas Turner does not go in the top 10, I don't believe any defensive player will go in the top 10. And I haven't done the research on this. I just can't imagine that there has ever been a draft where not one defensive player was taken in the top 10.
The money's on the offensive side now, man. That's what it takes to win Super Bowls. That's what it takes to beat teams. It's crazy too, because all this intent, all this focus on the offensive position. Meanwhile, offensive scoring was going down, Ryan Ermanni. I think they were down 20% this year in terms of points. That's why they changed a couple of these rules in these owners' meetings.
Adam Schefter has just tweeted out that, Jared Goff, we all said his deal is going to get done today. He says they're not even close on a new deal yet for Jared Goff. No new deal is imminent for Jared Goff, as per Adam Schefter.
They spent some money. Yeah. Now, here's an interesting space, Ryan Ermanni. You're Jared Goff. I mean, it doesn't matter. Jared Goff can't do anything, but you're Jared Goff. You watch them spend on Amon-Ra St. Brown, who you got paid. Watch them spend on Penei Sewell, who protects you deservingly so. And what are you thinking if they try to keep you on your $33 million deal this year? Because he is still under contract to the tune of $33 million. What happens then?
It ain't business, or it's not
Ain't
personal.
personal.
It's just business.
Business.
Here's the tweet from Schefter. There is no deal imminent for the Lions quarterback Jared Goff, despite the fact that Amon-Ra and Penei have now landed new deals. Per source, the Lions and Goff have spoken about a new deal this offseason, but no deal is close at this time. So Goff will not get done today, it doesn't look like. But nonetheless,
There you go.
Hey, man, the Lions have a really good situation if they just play this thing out with Goff. I mean, if there's one thing we know Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are not, they're not reckless people. Could it be reckless to give Jared Goff $50 million now? Could it be reckless? I mean, I don't know. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. You better know what Hendon Hooker is.
Stat-wise, yeah.
You better know what he is before you move on.
This is from our buddy Neil Rue on Big D Energy. This came through the chat, fellas. They wouldn't do his deal till post June 1st. Got to see who gets cut. If no one gets cut, you can front load a little more. If someone does, you can back load a little more. So now you wait till June 1st. You see what happens in training. OTAs. You see what happens in minicamp, and then you make a decision based off that.
I'm just saying, if I'm Jared Goff, put yourself in his body. Yeah, sure, he's made a lot of money. And yeah, he just came to Detroit and revived his career and won them the first two playoff games and home playoff games in their history since the Super Bowl era started. I'd be happy for my teammates. Penei is protecting me. I'm throwing to St. Brown.
Yeah.
I got a rookie in the backfield. I got a veteran in the backfield. I'm due a deal. I think I'd feel a little left out, is what I'm trying to say.
You can't.
If I'm him.
You can't feel left out if you're Jared Goff. Look, at the end of the day, Jared Goff has come here. He was on his last leg, regardless of how he got there. It was on his last leg. First year wasn't necessarily the best year. He got him a little help in Josh Reynolds towards the end of the year. He finished off decent. Then in year two, played much better, almost made the playoffs. In year three, we saw what happened, the 2 playoff wins. So, yeah, you want to get rewarded. But, Jared, you're still under contract for $33 million. Part of you getting to where you were was getting here in Detroit and us helping you. It was us putting you with Ben Johnson. It's us putting the right talent around you, be it Sam Laporta, be it Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, be it Amon-Ra St. Brown. We helped you get to this position. So just relax. Just give us some patience. We'll take care of you. But right now, we have to take care of the youngster. You want Amon-Ra St. Brown to be comfortable. You want Penei Sewell to be comfortable. So just let us take care of our guys. We'll come back and take care of you after June 1st.
And very simple, too, about the Goff thing and the Lions. The last person that is surprised about this is Jared Goff.
Yeah.
This organization treats these guys like they're adults.
He probably lobbied for it.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this organization treats these guys like adults. I guarantee you Brad Holmes has a direct communication about this extension, about what their plan is, about their future, about their vision with Goff. Goff is not surprised by anything that is happening with the Detroit
You're probably
Lions.
right.
Yeah. Guys, got to get a break. Mike O'Hara next. Maz, we will see you tomorrow.
I'll stay for a few more minutes.
Okay, good. Maz has got a prior commitment he's got to get out for today. But first, a message from us here at WSN.
That's right, everybody. Go ahead to shop.woodwardsports.com and load up on the latest Detroit sports merch. Obviously, the NFL draft is tomorrow. You're going to have lots of friends and family coming into town. Get them some Detroit sports merch here at shop.woodwardsports.com. All the latest hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Again, shop.woodwardsports.com. Head there and get your friends coming into town for the draft some great gifts. Hey, Maz?
Brother.
How about Premier Pet, my friend?
How about it? My favorite pet store, and one right down in the footsteps of the NFL draft in Detroit, but you can catch them anytime. PremierPetSupply.com. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated over 30 years, over 60 brands of food, 13 Metro Detroit locations as well, and of course the lowest prices in town. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
BGCSM 3C Sports Conference is coming during NFL Draft Week, starting on April 24th. Special guests will include Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Aleem McNeil, Calvin Johnson Jr., Sean H. Wilson, Cynthia Freeland, Adam Scheffner, and more. This event is open to athletes, coaches, and parents, but space is limited. So go to our website and purchase your tickets today at www.bgcsm.org.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
What's better than the Nashville Hot sandwich? Nothing. It is back. Nashville Hot is back at Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. You got the Nashville Hot Pizza, you got the Nashville Hot Fries, chicken sandwich, and chicken tenders. I gotta warn you though, just a little disclaimer. It is spicy. I'm talking real spicy, but it is good. And also, fresh salads, fresh sides. This is the place to go. But don't forget their regular crispy chicken, because this is what they were ultimately known for. And the pizza. Pizza is amazing. Go to Soroki's. You can go to Soroki's, SAROKIS.com, or just pull up on it one time, get some of this Nashville Hot. But it is limited time, so gotta get it fast.
And you know it, folks. After an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time. So make Feiger Law your first call. Call them up. 1-800-A-WINNER. 1-800-A-WINNER. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Feiger Law. All we do is win.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. We'd certainly appreciate that. Big news today. The Lions have agreed to extensions with Amon-Ra St. Brown, making him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. 4 years, $120 million, $77 million guaranteed. Penei Sewell, the highest paid offensive lineman in the game right now. 4 years, $112 million. $82 million guaranteed. How about that? Let's talk more about this with Mike O'Hara of DetroitLions.com. Mo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Gotcha,
loud and clear, buddy. Loud and clear. So the Lions get a couple of extensions done today. Mike, your reaction to extensions for Amon-Ra and Penei Sewell?
Well, you can't say it's about time, because they did it, really first chance they got, and I think they did the right thing. You know that these are going to be your guys for the next however long. Why drag it out either on your side or on the player's side? Get it done when it's something. There's just an obvious thing to be done there, and they did it right.
Mike, I think for a lot of people, Amon-Ra St. Brown specifically, this 4th round player that has come in here and really just been that guy from day one in his work ethic, in how he feels about the city and the locker room. He's a leader. And I guess you could say the same for Sewell too, but, a bit different being a 1st round pick compared to a 4th round pick. Just what do you make? You're around Amon-Ra St. Brown the last, 4 years or so. What is unique about that player that has just come in here and taken over?
Well, he had kind of a tough start, and it don't mean like he was going to be a flop or anything like that. But they had trouble getting the offense started when he first got there. And I remember saying that Tim Twyman one time. It was like week 3 or week 4. I said, they just don't seem to be able to get anything done right now. Not saying he was a flop or anything like that, but just how tough it was to get things started. And, next thing you know, they're 0-8-1 and going nowhere. But gradually things started coming together, and you could see that this young man had some special talents and special abilities, and just the way he worked and by the end of that season he had in the high 900s in yards, receiving yards, and that was just the start of where he was going. He improved really in big jumps there in his second year and his third year and his last year. The Lions going 12-5 and to the NFC Championship game, and he was really a force in that. He, I think, was it 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns in the regular season, and just a really quiet but noticeable leader on that team.
Hey, Mo, Braylon Edwards here, man. Always good to see you and always good to talk to you. In this case, how you doing?
Hello, Cleveland. How are
you? New York Jets, man. Until the Cleveland Browns pick up the phone and call me, I'm a New York Jet for life. But
come on, you can't do that.
Yes, I can. The New York Jets, they reach out to me. They invite me to games. They invite me to alumni games. Meanwhile, Cleveland, I have no connection since they traded me in 2009. I'm not bitter over it. I don't have connection. That's all.
Well, I can tell you're not.
Hey, look, I said New York Jets, you said Browns.
Hold on a second. We're not done yet. I'm
okay,
not done with you.
Go ahead.
I'm one block from where you grow up right now. This minute.
Green Acres, baby. Green Acres.
Yeah, gotcha. So what can I do for you if it's very little?
No, it's true. You can do a lot. Just excited about the contract extension of Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years to the tune of 120, well deserved. Just talk about what the Lions are doing and what they're showing players that they'll be potentially drafting tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. In my estimation, hey, look, we're going to take care of our guys. You come here, you play, we'll take care of you. That usually doesn't happen in any sport, especially football. Guys prove themselves time and time again, but still don't get the reward. What are the Lions doing different and why?
Well, I don't know about what's different, but they don't. An old timer one time said to me, "Don't start a fight in an empty room." And the Detroit Lions, with this group of people, with this iteration of their management, starting with Sheila Fordham, and right on down the organization, they don't pick fights. They shoot you square. They look you right in the eye when they're talking. Tell you what, that's the way they deal with their players. So the players know basically where they stand, and there's just no, there's no like needless drama or anything like that. That stuff will take care of itself. And obviously, at a very high level here today, you saw the rewards of that.
Yeah, man, I'm just excited because I'm more so looking at it from the standpoint that, in organizations, you have guys that play and they go above and beyond their contract, man, but they don't get the dollars. And then that leads to what? That leads to guys scrubbing their social. That leads to guys, making some rumblings. That leads to friction. That leads to guys not playing the same. They're nipping that thing in the bud right away. Say, hey, look, you balled out 3 years. It's time to get paid. And I think you're showing other guys you get drafted to that team if you play. I'm more excited as a guy drafted now watching that model versus watching a situation like Justin Jefferson in Minnesota or watching something else where I'm like, why won't they pay their guys? Their guys have clearly performed outside the contract. Why won't they pay them? But the Lions, I can't wait to get to camp. I can't wait to get boots on ground and watch film because I see they care about their players.
Yeah, and I think that players understand that not everybody's going to make the same amount of money. Some guys are going to make more than others. But if it's straight, like I said, if you're straight with them, they understand that too. And and would they like to make more? Everybody would like to make more. They really would. Even it's just the nature of it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Talking to Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com, and Mike, talking about shooting players straight, I totally agree with that. And Adam Schefter came out just moments ago and said, I think for a lot of us, even us, and Maz was speculating, watch Jared Goff's extension be announced later today too. And I think that was what we all thought when we saw Amon-Ra and Sewell. Watch Goff be next. Adam Schefter comes out and says the two sides have talked, but they are nowhere near a deal. It's not close. It's not imminent. But regardless of that, Jared Goff is probably the least surprised person about that because they do shoot these guys straight. They're up front with these guys. Do you agree with that about Jared Goff? And he's probably not surprised or anything like that, they're probably not close right now.
I'd be surprised if he was surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, they don't just come out and hand you the money. That's not good business at all either. There's got to be a way you operate, and Jared's got a year left on his contract, but there are also some other mechanisms in there that you can keep him in Detroit another year or two. So it's not like there's any urgency to get him under contract like today or tomorrow or whatever. There's time is on both sides. For both sides, things will get done when they get done. And Jared did a media session with the media. I think it was last week or a week before. I don't remember right now. All this stuff kind of runs together. But he said that he's pretty sure things will work out. They've talked in a little bit, or maybe even more than a little bit, on both sides. But he said he likes the way things are moving, and he said he knows where he stands.
Is part of that lack of urgency on the Lions' part, Mike? And I guess you'd really never know until the guy gets into a game. But do you think they know what they have in Hendon Hooker?
I think they know to a point, but they certainly haven't seen him play. Now, they've seen him what he did in college before he got hurt, but it's a different game. It really is. It's a completely different game. In some regards, though, the quarterback position, not maybe quite as different as it used to be. Now the quarterbacks have a lot more freedom to look. When I first started covering the Detroit Lions back in that time, a running quarterback was not an asset. It was a problem. You wanted your guys to stand there and a quarterback stand in the pocket and pat the ball, and finally throw it. If he took off running, people kind of joked about him. Well, that's different now. It's a different style of quarterback, completely different. That's they want you to be able to run the options and all that other stuff, or if you can anyway, I should say. Then that's considered an asset. And that's completely different than, say, 30 years ago, the way they were eyed on, how they were, a quarterback, I should say, was viewed if he was prone to running out of the pocket.
Mike, let me ask you about the draft. And there's so many players. I'm not going to ask you who they're going to take or anything like that. It seems like it's such a crapshoot. But, with the offensive line, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Zeitler, this is the identity of their team. Is offensive line, do you think, above corner, above wide receiver? Do you think that is, if you had to weight the positions of need on this team, potentially, first round pick, what would you say?
Well, the three you mentioned, a wide receiver, quarterback, and an offensive lineman. Now, the offensive lineman are three spots. Then there's a center, there's a guard, two guards, and two tackles. So it depends on which one. If you're making a choice, where do you, which one do you want? Do you want the center? Do you want the quarterback? If you want the center, do you want the guard, or do you want the tackle? But to me, those three, I would take. If it were me, I would take any one of those three. Which one made the most sense at the time available? And if it's an offensive lineman, fine, take him. If it's a cornerback, take him. If it's a wide receiver, take him.
More likely scenario, Mike, in both Dan Campbell talked about it today and Brad Holmes talked about it earlier in the week about trading out of the first round. You've got hundreds of thousands of Lions fans downtown waiting until 11 o'clock, 11:30, and pick number 29 comes up, and the commissioner comes to the podium and says, the Detroit Lions have traded out of the first round. Can you imagine that scenario? Do you believe it's more likely that they trade up or trade back?
Well, first of all, I think it's more likely that they stay put.
Yeah. Okay.
But
fair enough.
A narrow margin.
That's my guy.
Narrow margin. But if let's put it this way: if they trade out of it, I want to see what happens down there. I think it'd be kind of maybe fun to watch the reaction of the fans on that one if that's what they do. But look, I think most people, if they're football fans, they understand that you're not trying to fool the fans. You're trying to build the best team you can. I think they would realize that.
Hey, Mo, last question from us. And, we've talked so much about picks and moving back and moving up or staying put. By the way, that's why you're my guy, because I said stay put as well. I don't think you need to move up or back. I think you're in a great space and a great draft. Stay put. So I like that, Mo. What are you looking forward to most? I mean, hey, we keep talking about the draft like it isn't downtown Detroit, like it isn't straight down Woodward if you're headed that way. What are you most excited for as it relates to the city, the draft, and it just being here?
That's a good question because, I think this is sort of, I'm not saying it upsets me or anything like that, but it's sort of a feeling among some people that they've never been downtown in Detroit before, that this is a major event and we don't get many of those. That's all we get in the spring and the summer and the fall is events in downtown Detroit, the Jazz Festival and many more. So it's not like Detroiters aren't used to being in downtown Detroit. They're there all the time. And it's the way that area has been developed in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So what I'm looking forward there, just let it be surprised. Just let it come to let the drama as a fan. Let the drama come to me. Let me look at it and process it myself, and I'll tell you how I feel after I see it.
All righty.
Mike O'Hara, we cannot thank you enough for your time. Happy draft day to you, and probably be at the facility over there in Allen Park, I'm sure. Hopefully you get down to the draft at some point this week, but if not, you can watch it on TV with everybody else. Thanks, Mike.
How did you know I was going to do
that? Something tells me that's what's going to be the case. Check out Mike on DetroitLions.com. Great coverage there from him and Tim Twentyman and the entire digital team over there at DetroitLions.com. Mike, thanks, buddy.
Family.
All right.
All right. Great stuff. You bet. No doubt.
I think he got sad after Maz left.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we get sad when Maz leaves. Oh, sad Maz chair.
Big energy going, man.
Absolutely. Maz had to had a prior commitment.
Somebody's going to sit in that chair in a second.
Oh, yeah? You?
No,
Are you going to sit there?
My girl's going to sit there.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, nice. All right, Bray. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL, take a look at the what's the latest with the NFL draft. There's one team in the top 10, and it's the Bears. Where will they want to trade? But first, a message from Swiss.
That's right, everybody. I do have good news, and I have bad news. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan, but the good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you. Also, it's time to wake up, Woodward. You can hear that morning show here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Woodward Sports. Join Broder, Flannel Sam, Kool-Aid, Kenny G, and JB again every Monday through Friday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. We shall be right back.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets?
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
When it comes to chicken sandwiches, I have a sleeper for you. It's really not a sleeper because I've been talking about it for a month. It is the Chicken Shack sandwich from Shake Shack. And now, as in then, you can use the code promo word Woodward. You use Woodward down there, you get yourself a free sandwich with the purchase of $10 or more, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. The crinkle fries, strawberry shake, or whatever shake you want. They also have 5 different types of lemonade. So use code Woodward. You get yourself a free sandwich with the purchase of $10. And the Shake Shack sandwiches, they are fresh. The pickles are crisp, just like the fries. Shake Shack, Chicken Shack sandwich.
All right, Brad, I'm going to play the role of Tom Mazaway. We are going to go around the NFL. The Bears may want to trade down from number 9 for more picks. You know, they only have 4 picks in this draft.
Yeah.
But they've got 2 of the top 9 picks.
That'll buy you some capital.
Absolutely. So Bears may want to trade down from picks 9. If the Bears stick, a couple of friends of GM Ryan Poles said they think they'll be looking to add talent around Caleb Williams. So if one of the top 3 receivers is still there to Chicago, you can take them. If they are not, I'm pretty certain that they're going to trade out of that pick. In the top 3 receivers, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, and
Roma
Dunze. Yep, that's right. Okay. How about this, too? The Bears, Bray, going to go indoors. They have announced that a state-of-the-art, publicly owned, domed stadium just south of Soldier Field, $2 billion stadium, the Bears going to play inside. This is the only thing you can do these days. You have to build domed stadiums. You got to put a roof on it. You could fill that thing 300 nights a year.
Yeah, I just got to Cleveland in 2005 when they drafted me 3rd overall, and they had just built that stadium in 2003 or 2004. I don't know what the hang-up is, and I'm glad Maz isn't here right now because I know what will come out of his mouth as you relate to this point. I don't care that it's a cold weather city. I don't care what the tradition is. I don't care that people are used to bundling up and drinking hot chocolate or drinking something else so that they can have the tolerance and the patience to deal with a cold game. I understand Buffalo, and it gives them the advantage. No, it doesn't, because Buffalo has been beat at home a lot in the last couple of years. Buffalo almost lost to Miami with a 3rd-string backup quarterback 2 years. That home field advantage, the Detroit Lions have a dome, have always had a dome. Last year was fun. You got a chance to go outside. It was cold. It was snowing. You got a chance to get that feel. Got a chance to drink whatever you want to do, the hot chocolate, a couple noodles, whatever you want, Ryan and Monty. Then you got a chance to go inside and watch a nice, comfortable game in which the Lions won 2 playoff games. Jared Goff, they beat the Rams and then they beat the Bucks. That's how it is. You don't want to be dealing with the weather. You don't want to be dealing with those type of variants. The weather can affect the game, if you will. You want a game. You want the people to come. You want the people to enjoy their experience. Stadiums are state-of-the-art nowadays. They're more state-of-the-art than ever. You have a good time. Sometimes you don't even pay attention to the game after a certain point. So this is smart by the Chicago Bears. But to your point about them with the draft picks, look, they've got they got something going down there in Chicago. You see the moves they made over the last 2 years. They fleeced the Carolina Panthers last year for their draft picks as well as DJ Moore. You look, they're similar to where the Lions were last year. We were 9-8 coming off where we almost made the playoffs. And Brad Holmes had a tremendous draft, a draft that propelled them to the NFC Championship. So I think that's what they're trying to do. You get Caleb Williams, but you want to pair somebody. You look at the defense. You got Sweat, Edmund, Edwards, Jalen Johnson. You just gave a contract to. You got Byer. You have Brisker. On the offensive side, you got Cole Kmet, DJ Moore. You partner him with Keenan Allen. You put DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Just like you always say, you don't know what tomorrow is. You don't know what next season is. You got to go for it now. So if your guy's there, Roma Dunizé, and maybe he's not even a pick, you definitely can get some picks if you can. Go back and get some picks and give you a chance. You're going to be arguably in the hardest division. Get some picks because Green Bay and the Lions, they're not going to do you no favors.
Without question. There's no doubt about that. Good call, Bray. Yeah. Hey, J.J. McCarthy had a video thanking Jim Harbaugh. How about this?
Thank you so much, Coach Harbaugh, for showing me the way, being the leader of men that you are. Beyond a blessing to be a part of your journey and have you be a part of mine. And I just can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I love you, Coach.
First and foremost, I'm super appreciative of you for the promise you made me when I was a recruit. You told me, if I come to Michigan, you're going to help me become a better man, a better football player. You kept your promise true. You're a winner. I've seen it firsthand. So I'm wishing you the best of luck.
He's imparted so much wisdom upon me. He's going to go out there and kill. He's going to go out there and dominate. That's just what he is. He's a winner. I got all the respect in the world for him. I can't wait to see him at the next level.
Junior Colston, Mike Sandra-Still, J.J. McCarthy thanking their head coach for putting them in this position.
It's so crazy just watching the 360 degrees that is Jim Harbaugh from the time he was with the San Francisco 49ers, even to the time he was here initially in 2015 with this Michigan team, like complete 180. The players love him. The players, they trust him. He got these players to unbelievable heights, and that height is the national championship. They won back-to-back Big Ten championship 3 years in a row, and he taught them how to be men. He taught them how to be football players, and he's helped them. And Jim Harbaugh, you gotta take your cap off to him in terms of what he's become, and it's real. These players love him. They play hard for him, and they're going to be great players in the NFL, great as they can be because of the tutelage and the bonding that he did with them in Ann Arbor.
It's dope, man. You know what is crazy too to think about for me is J.J. McCarthy will be the first offensive skill position player taken in the first round of the NFL draft since him, Braylon Edwards. Isn't that incredible? 19 years.
That's negligence, to be honest.
Think about that.
That's negligence.
19 years, the University of Michigan has not had one offensive skill position player taken in the first round since this guy, Braylon Edwards, in 2005.
That's negligence. That's negligence. There's a lot of rough years in there.
Oh, man.
A lot of rough years in there. We didn't know each other necessarily a lot back then, but I was losing money on Michigan too.
I mean, it is.
Jeez.
I mean, it's great that it's going to happen now. And by the way, J.J. McCarthy, the first quarterback
since Jim
Harbaugh to be taken in the first round in 1987.
People always, I know exactly what you're going to say next, so I'll just start saying it. People always like, man, that's cool, right? It's like, it's you. It's the last guy. No, that's not cool. Like, when you go to Alabama, the thing that gets you excited is when you talk about how many players are in the first round, how many players have come from that program and won national championships, and they're coming and being the next guy from Alabama. You talk about the players from Ohio State or LSU or even Texas and some of these, USC. With Michigan, it's like, well, we had a couple guys in the first round. You always got to go back to Jake Long, who was number one overall, Aiden Hutchinson. So recently, so it's good that you got guys, 18 guys in the draft, and you'll have at least two in the front, at least one in the first round. So
basically, the offenses suck.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, because they never got away from running the football. If you're gonna suck, well, switch it up a little bit.
Right, there's no doubt. Guys, Michael Penix Jr. released a letter. Bray, you were all over this. Released a letter to all 32 GMs. Truth is, I'd be more worried if I had not been injured. We don't all come back the same. And I think his medicals and what happened to him at Indiana was one of the reasons that he is really, or I don't want to say, basically the media and fans have put him to be the sixth quarterback.
Yeah.
He may not be. We just don't know. Where do NFL general managers have him? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see it. You talking about the J.J. McCarthy situation?
No, Michael Penix, just the letter that he sent to 32 GM saying, "Hey, man, I'm who I am because of the injuries. Don't shy away from me because of those injuries."
And you got to appreciate that. You got to appreciate him taking the chance to say, "Look, man, this is who I am." Social media has allowed people to not feel a certain way when connecting with people that they don't know, or writing letters or reaching out or doing this stuff. It's made you comfortable, and I like it. Look, he wrote this letter and said, "Look, I got injured a couple times, season-ending injuries, but I transferred. I went to a new school. I learned a new offense. You saw where I was at when I was healthy in Indiana. You see where I've been for the last 2 years. Don't knock me. Everybody's about knocking. You're knocking my ability. He's not necessarily a guy that gets out of the pocket anyway. He's a quarterback. You're not judging him on being a Lamar Jackson or being a Josh Allen. You're judging him on spinning the football, getting downfield, and leading charges, and that's what he did. He did it very well at Washington for the last 2 years. He got to the national championship. This year he came up short against you-know-who, but I like it. And this is what people need sometimes, Ryan. This is what an owner needs. This is what a coach needs. This is what a GM needs when you say, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on this guy because I believe in him. There's something there. There's something special. And, oh, by the way, the film backs it up, too. Right. This isn't some bum or some scrub that you're giving a chance to. This is a guy that got to the national championship and reinvented himself after he left Indiana.
Mike McDaniel called out Tyreek Hill after a playoff loss, and Tyreek Hill really opened up and said, he was like, you're supposed to be the best player in the league. We pay you all this money for what? Very rare that you would think a coach would go after and call out one of his best players, if not his best player on the team. But he did, and kudos to Tyreek Hill for taking that the way he took that.
Yeah, I love it. This era is gone, Ryan, in an athlete. Like, this doesn't typically happen anymore. You hear all the stories about Tom Brady in the meeting room and how Bill Belichick would rip him a new one, and he was allowed to do it because Tom Brady wanted to win. Tom Brady knew that if people could see me getting ripped to shreds, if your number one player is getting ripped to shreds, then who the heck am I to talk back, or who the heck am I to have an attitude? And I like this by Tyreek. A lot of times these guys get paid a lot of money, and as opposed to have this mentality, Ryan, where it's, you know what? He's right. I get paid to do my thing. I'm the highest paid wide receiver. I'm supposed to come out here. I'm supposed to dominate. I didn't do that, and I'm gonna put the onus. As opposed to do that, what do? They pout, scrub their social. They don't want to talk to McDaniel. How dare you talk to me like that in front of the team? This is old school, man, and I love it.
Rashee Rice expected to serve a multi-game suspension for his involvement in an accident on the freeway in Dallas that was caught on video, and there's video of him walking away and all of that. But the Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice going to serve a multi-game suspension. Is there any scenario other than the Chiefs taking a wide receiver in round one?
Probably. I think there is. They need wide receivers 100%, and if there's somebody there, then they'll take them. But this is the same thing we talked about as it relates to it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing for him that he left the scene of that crime because there was no BAC, no blood alcohol level. There wasn't anything worse. Nobody was super, super hurt. 2-game suspension is because that BAC didn't exist. If he would have stayed on the scene, it would have definitely hurt his chances. But that's the NFL. This is the way we live in. He didn't get caught for that, so you can't punish him for that.
There you go. Guys, did you see this? What Tom Brady said about young players? Said this on a podcast. I want to share it with you now.
I think the biggest problem with a lot of kids these days, it's all about them. It's all about them, their brand, their social media. And then when it's about me and then not about us, well, there's no way to succeed as a team if all you're doing is thinking about how selfish it is for you to get the attention.
It's cool to show the world how great you are, but the most inspiring thing is how great you can make others.
That's the point of life, is what we could do. How do you help other people finish the race, not just you?
How about that, Bray? Tom Brady going after the young fellas.
Look, man, NFL has become kind of like basketball. Basketball at AAU, it's always been LeBron and those guys, you name them, they start early in terms of telling them that they're guys give to basketball, guys give to the sport, paying in the endorsements, putting on the cover of national magazines. Now football is the same. Now football, you got coaches hyping you up at 12, 13, 14 years old, so they get into this arrogant individual space versus what football was, which is a team game. And then we were just talking about Tom and just talking about him kind of putting the onus on himself and letting Bill rip him to shreds. Like, that's more so what Tom Brady's talking about. Look, I got 7 championships, 7 Super Bowls, and I let this happen to me. Who are you to have an issue or to not be mentally tough enough to take that love? That comes with the sport. No matter what sport you play, you got to take criticism. You got to take things that hurt.
No doubt. All right, guys, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to go through the NBA big playoff action there. We'll go through that.
Is LeBron still here? Don't you got a game?
I think so, but first a message from Guardian Alarm.
That's right, everybody. What happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. And that technology has been proven to work, and those people have been proven to care. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We shall return.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake. Hey. Figer Law. All we do is win. All we do is win.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Let me tell you about the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan and the Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here Foundation, proud to present the 3C Sports Conference to educate, inform, and inspire players, parents, coaches in our local communities, featuring impactful speakers like Jerome Bettis, Eddie George, and Adam Schefter, April 24th through the 26th. For more information and tickets, scan the QR code on your screen right now. Sign up today. I'm going to be out there tonight at the event. In fact, I may end the show like around 350, 352, somewhere in there, because so I can get out to this event.
348.
Barry Sanders, Brian Kelly, Cynthia Freeland, Kevin Colbert, Eddie George, Sean Wilson, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club that we had on earlier. What's today? Wednesday? We had him on Monday. Yeah. One of the most impressive interviews I think we've had on in quite some time. Just the way he talked about the kids and what they do at the Boys and Girls Club, and really trying to bring them along and let them be kids first and foremost. So many times, Braylon, right now, it's all about big business. Youth sports has become big business, where each kid, their parents, their loved ones believe that they are going to be the next great thing. And you don't know that at 8 years old. You don't know that at 12 years old. So you don't need to spend $2,500 for some camp.
Yeah, don't tell these couch Hall of Fame coaches talking about these parents. Right. That's not the case. The thing that I enjoyed about the interview too is just that fact that I was in Boys and Girls Club, and I think there's a misconception. There's if you're in Boys and Girls Club, you don't have parents. You got dropped off there. I had parents. My parents had jobs, and sometimes in the summertime, I had 4 parents to be exact. Sometimes you got to go to a place and have some fun. I think my dad put me there to kind of just learn and get in the street and get off the comfortability that was my life. So it was a lot of fun. Just learn. We talked about bumper pool. That was like a little side jab I threw in there. I learned how to play bumper pool there. But you learn the ropes, and I'm glad they're back in the community. Some of these kids, they're gamers. They're locked in their rooms. They come home from school, close the door, and then you don't see them for 4 hours. You don't see them until they need money, or you don't see them until they eat. You get them out of their rooms with programs like this. You get them outside. Like I just remember, we had PlayStations. We had Super Nintendos. We had Nintendos. I'm not going as far back as Atari, but we also were outside. We also were hooping. We were playing baseball. We were playing basketball. We were playing whatever the neighborhood wanted to play. And so it's good to see the Boys and Girls Club of America sticking true to what they initially started on.
Hey, Bray, before I get to the NBA, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back.
Thank the Lord.
I mean, finally, one of the things that has been I don't know. It's very rare that anybody does the right thing these days when it comes to big organizations. So for the Heisman Trust to give Reggie Bush his Heisman back after 14 years, he forfeited this trophy for 14 years. They have decided to reinstate this trophy to Bush because of the enormous changes in the college football landscape. Amen to that.
If I was at home, or if we weren't on Fox 2, I have some other choice words for the NCAA, but I'll play nice. I would have never given it back if I was Reggie Bush, and it's funny that my girl's in the studio with her Brit. I was telling her I had a story for her about this trophy and this situation. When this stuff came out, Ryan Ermanni, it was 2006. I remember like it was yesterday. Reggie was at the draft, and I had actually been invited by the NFL to interview on the red carpet on that Friday night, interview Saturday, and hang out, go to some events. And I remember Reggie and I and some other players and some people that I knew, I was already in the NFL, Michael Strahan, a couple players. We go out that night. And I had met Reggie because we played them his freshman year. I had hung out with him at Playboy All-American. I've seen him at events. I knew had a little rapport with Reggie, if you will. Draft night. This is the night before the draft. This is supposed to be the most important, most fun night in his life, Ryan. Like, it was for me. Like, my draft night experience the night before, it was a huge party. My family was there. It was so much love. And I just remember smiling from the time I woke up Friday to the time I went to sleep and woke up on Saturday to be drafted. I'm just looking at Reggie's face. He's just not there. This is looming. This had just got announced that day that he was taking money or whatever the situation was, had just got announced, put a damper on it. He could not even focus. Like, he just looked like he wasn't there. He's standing. He was sad. It's a party going on. There's celebrities in the building. The party is jumping. This is New York City, and he wasn't there, and I felt so bad. We go outside. I'm like, Reggie, let's go talk outside. He just started crying. He just broke down, started crying. He was like, man, that's not how it happened. That's not even what is going on. It's not fair. He's talking about some other stuff, too, that, it's nobody's business. But to see him have this full circle moment 14 years later, like, they still owe this man for what it did to him mentally in that space and then for years after. But I'm glad he has it back. I would have never given it to him in the first place because he didn't take steroids. He didn't take performance-enhancing drugs. He didn't take anything, and they took the trophy from him. But it's interesting. It's interesting that when did he get the trophy back?
This morning.
Understood. NIL has been going on now this year, last year, the year before that, and the start of the year before that. He didn't get his trophy until somebody made a fuss. And I'm glad he did. Johnny Manziel went on that interview and said, look, what they're doing to Reggie Bush is crazy. I will no longer ever go to the downtown Heisman or the downtown athletic club, which is where they present the Heisman. He said, I won't go to it. I won't be a part of it because what they're doing to Reggie is a travesty. They can have my Heisman back if they wanted to. A month and a half later, he gets his Heisman trophy back. Sometimes people got to speak up, and I'm glad Johnny Manziel did, and I'm glad Reggie can have that peace. He seems like he's at peace.
So there was the Heisman Trust returned the Heisman Trophy to Bush this morning.
They would have to fight me for that trophy.
Yeah, and Reggie Bush's quote, personally, I'm thrilled to reunite with my fellow Heisman winners and be part of the storied legacy of the Heisman Trophy. I'm honored to return to the Heisman family. I will also look forward to working together with the Heisman Trust to advance the values and mission of the organization. There were about 15 other Heisman Trophy winners in attendance of Bush getting his Heisman Trophy today. You mentioned one of the guys that lobbied for him, Johnny Manziel, had a tweet. Thank you to the Heisman Trophy for doing what's right and welcoming a storied member of our history back into the fold. There were many voices throughout this process that stood on the table for Reggie simply because of the kind of human being he was. I look forward to being with him at future Heisman ceremonies. There was no greater college football player in my lifetime, 45 years old, than Reggie Bush.
Same.
Period.
Exactly.
He was the best college football player these two eyes have ever seen.
He's the most exciting. The best is Charles Woodson, but that's debatable, and I don't have
Either
a problem.
way, however you want to do it. He was the most
you know what?
exciting.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. They're
Right.
both equal in this. I give you that. Even though if I was Reggie, I can be pissed, or you should be pissed, but I'll be pissed for him. How you handle, how you treat people, and what you do goes a very long way.
Yes, it does.
Like Reggie Bush has been stellar on and off the field. He's been stellar in terms of the community, how way he speaks when he was on Fox, when he was doing your show, Big Noon Kickoff, a couple years ago. Just everything is positive. He still has the $1 million smile, et cetera, et cetera. Even in this moment, Reggie could have said something slick. Reggie could have said it's about.
We all wanted to.
100%. He could have said it's about dang time or insert what you wanted him to say. He said, I look forward to being back with the brothers and the members of the Heisman Trophy. I can't wait to do events. You know what I'm looking forward to? When football season starts, that first Heisman House commercial with Reggie Bush,
well,
it's going to be fire.
Who put
it's
that
gonna be
in?
fire.
It's funny because somebody just put that in the chat. Mazed Up says Reggie Bush back in the Nissan commercial.
Hey, get that. I'm telling you, those commercials are some of the best. Now you get Johnny Manziel with Reggie Bush. You know they're going to be together.
Yeah, there's
it's gonna
no
be fire.
doubt. That is great. So congratulations to Reggie Bush, no doubt. Want to get to some NBA now. 3 games last night. Indiana evened up their series with Milwaukee. They got back on track essentially because that one. Without Giannis, I thought Indiana would win that series, make a series of it, and after game 1, you're like, what in the heck happened? But they really handled business last night, Bray. 125, 108 winners to tie that series up at a game apiece. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm still interested in that series. The problem is, look, Dame doesn't have a star help, and that's what you need in NBA. You need 3 stars really to win a championship. You definitely got to have 2. Giannis being out, that's what hurts him. He's exhausting all his energy, but he doesn't have that guy that could take up the mantle and give you some superstar points in there, give you 25, give you your 26, give you 24 and some help when you come off the court. That's not happening, so that's a problem. But the silver lining for the Bucks is Tyrese Halliburton ain't it. And I don't know what happened to Tyrese Halliburton from the
Fell
time.
off a cliff.
Fell off a darn cliff. Like, he's not the same guy. He messed my parlay up, but that's neither here nor there. He's not the same guy, and I think that's where the Bucks can at least get out of this and hopefully get to Giannis if Giannis comes back. Pascal Siakam, I love him to death. He can't keep operating as he's operating. I think that's going to end up hindering the Pacers.
The Timberwolves run away from the Suns. Bigger story, the T-Wolves up 2-0 or the Suns down 2-0?
I think it's the Suns down 2-0.
I agree.
And I love Minnesota. You know who my
agree.
favorite player is, babe. You know, last name Edwards. You know what time it is. And he's talking stuff to his mentor, shades of Golden State and the Lakers and Steph and Kobe Bryant, kind of that torch passing situation. But I don't want to hear all that about how good Minnesota and Anthony Edwards is. KD, where are you at?
Where is Kevin Durant?
Because your legacy is about to take a hit.
Has he ever gotten past the second round of the playoffs without?
Yeah, because they were up 3-1 against against the Warriors in the West Conference Finals, and they lost.
Oh, okay.
That was the big deal, and that's why he went to Golden State. But outside of teaming up with the Avengers in Golden State and getting two cheap
cheapies.
Well, I'm not gonna say the titles were cheap, but the MVPs were cheap because it's easy. What have you done? Like, you left OKC after losing a 3-1 lead. You go to Brooklyn. That thing never panned out, whether your foot was on the line or not. Then you go on your next team, the Suns. Bradley Beal, where you at?
The Los Angeles Clippers fall at home with Kawhi Leonard.
He was another no-show.
Luka Doncic, 32 points, and the Mavs tie up that series 96-93.
You're talking about another situation where he was another no-show. Talking about Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers. This Clippers thing is over. Like, this Clippers experiment deal that they got going on, it's over after this. I think Dallas closes them out, and I think Kyrie Irving has a huge game next. Luka Doncic he's staying in shape. Like, usually he gets in shape at the beginning of the season, and then he kind of gets back up. Luka Doncic has been in shape all season. He's going to kill it.
2 games tonight, Heat and Celtics. Boston a 14.5-point favorite in that one. Pelicans and Thunder. The Thunder have a 1-game-to-none series lead, and they are a 7.5-point favorite tonight.
New Orleans Pelicans, they are not a serious franchise as it relates to basketball right now, and me believing in them. So you got to stay away from them if you're picking. Celtics. The Celtics are going to close out the series on them in about another 2 days or so. They don't have anything for them. They're really just trying to get to the Eastern Conference Final because they are the best team in the East.
Boston, it feels like they're going to sweep Miami.
It looks a little different than the last couple of years when you were nervous about Boston. I think
I think you still have to be nervous about Boston in their fourth quarters. This is a team in the fourth quarter that has completely crapped the bed in the fourth quarter. But the Boston Celtics are going to sweep this series. I don't think they're going to – I don't know. I could be crazy, but they might win all 4 games by double digits.
I think they win. I think the Heat win tonight.
Yeah, really?
Just one.
Right, okay.
And the only reason why is because –
I'll go for that. I like elongated series. I don't like sweeps.
This is true, especially now with the Detroit Red Wings and the doggone New Jersey Devils. Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the modern era in the last 25 years in terms of what he's done when he's gotten into the playoffs, what he's done when he's gotten into finals. So I think you have to give him that credit. We didn't expect the 2 runs that they made over the past 3 years in terms of getting in the finals and having a chance to win it. So don't count him out. I think with his experience, he'll get a win. This team just can't compete with the Celtics in the 7-game series, but I think they will get 1 win.
Tigers and Rays tonight from the Trop. Tigers get a comeback win last night. They are now 14-10 on the year. Double-digit road wins for the Detroit Tigers. They are 10-3 away, and they'll try it again tonight.
I will say something about their bats in terms of the Tigers. The pitchers. If I heard the stat correctly, the Tigers bullpen is 207.
Second best in baseball.
First best.
Are they the first?
Second
They've been going back and forth with Boston.
And now I think the Pirates are Boston's second at 216.
Look at you.
Baseball
savant, Braylon Edwards. Just want to say that.
Come to work when I'm here.
All right, guys, I got to get to this Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here conference. So we're going to get out of here. Bray, we'll see you tomorrow. NFL Draft. Enjoy you tonight. Enjoy the draft experience, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Woodward Sports Network.